You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, a 7 man on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you in the Let's Play episode of Kingsguard, Leandros' Path. So yeah, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is out for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel and get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. He turned away from the fallen knights and pointed his blade at you. Fight for life. Come closer. Your Highness, please run. You must get a... Silence. Ah! The wolf took a single step towards the knight and slowly pushed the blade into him. It sunk deeper and deeper until only the hilt stuck out. Don't run. Go. Get away. Quiet. The assassin slowly turned his head at you as he started to twist the blade. The knight's scream sickened you. Galen! Damn it, you'll pay for this! The other knight threw himself forward, his face contorted in rage, but he did little to fulfill his revenge. Ah! Ugh! The wolf batted the blade out of your protector's hand and buried his knife-like claws into the knight. Galen! Stay dead! A powerful kick, the assassin shoved the knight off of his claws and sent him sprawling to the floor. Neither of them moved. We fight now! It's gonna fucking kill me if I fight back. So let's fight back! A renewed strength coursed through you. Now's the time to become a man. The two knights, they were still alive and you could save them. How the fuck are they alive? You just had to take down this one beast man. You gripped your blade tightly and reinforced your stance. The wolf smiled and pulled his blade from the knight. Correct. Die with honor. What does an assassin know about honor? Your voice quivered. Your legs shook and the blade in your hands felt 3 times heavier than this morning. The wolf strode forward with confidence. Just as the assassin was about to charge forward, the injured knights gripped onto his legs and held him back. Your Highness, don't throw your life away. For us. The knight's breath was ragged. Blood dribbled from his mouth and his face was pale. Go now while you can. Don't waste our sacrifice. Wasted effort. Please go. Stay and fight. Even as they bled there, struggling with their last breath to keep you safe, you couldn't just abandon them. Not when they could still be saved. Just hold on. I'll take him down and then find someone who can help you too. No! The wolf's grin spread even wider. He stabbed his blade down at the soldiers, cutting off their hands? Enough wasted time. He swiped his blade, cleaning the blood off from it. You were sent flying, only stopping what you had slammed into the wall. Your vision had faded and your hearing dulled. You had caught the sound of something cracking upon impact. Maybe it was the wall behind you. Maybe it was your own bones. The pain came as you struggled to move, with the breath knocked out of you as though you couldn't even scream. You gasped several times and writhed on the floor like a fish out of water. Slowly your vision returned, and there stood the black-eyed wolf, his grin showing every single one of his teeth. Disappointing. Oh. Ha! That's funny. You actually died. Flee. There was no way you could face someone like him. Not here, not now. This wasn't something you were prepared for. It wasn't something you could handle. 1,000 little voices in your head told that you would die if you didn't leave. Fear overtook you and you fled. Not once did you dare look back as you heard the 2 soldiers scream out once more. You'd managed to avoid bumping into anyone else as you fled through the castle. Just now you realized how big it really was. But even with the countless number of rooms, where could you go? To your room? How safe would you be there? Would blocking the door and shivering under your covers for help to arrive be the best course of action? Leandros had spoke of your aunt and uncle's ship still moored by the docks. It would be your way out of here, and the 2 of them would likely be waiting. That is, if they made it out of the throne room as well. With everything that had happened, you didn't get a chance to look to see if they were still alright before you bolted out of there. You heard movement from within the courtyard and quickly hid behind a pillar. Second, y'all. Water time. Smell you. Find you. The assassin's footsteps grew closer with each beat of your heart. Your hand slid down to your side and gripped the hilt of your blade. Then all was quiet. The assassin leaped forward, jumping to your right from the pillar behind you. You rolled out of the way, just barely missing a fatal strike as the blade caught onto your vest and ripped through it. You quickly got up and released your sword from its sheath. There would be no running without a consequence. Fight! You hadn't noticed it before. The assassin had shedded his helmet, and you caught the unnatural look of his eyes more clearly. But there was so much more to see. His fur was bristled like a frightened cat or attacking dog. At the tips of your fur, you caught a glimpse of dark purple, the same color as the strange mist that seemed to be emitting off of him. Maybe it wasn't smoke after all. Perhaps it was some sort of poison mist. But if that was the case, how were you not dead after breathing it in? You caught a whiff of the putrid smell that mimicked the one from the throne room as the mist moved towards you. He lowered himself to the ground like a feral animal, and his sharp claws dug into the stone. He pushed off and rushed forward. His attacks were fast, and he seemed to have boundless energy and might as he relentlessly pressed on. You barely managed to keep up. Your only focus was staying as far away from him as you could. It would only take one hit, just one, and it would all be over for you. Your knuckles hurt from gripping the blade so hard out of fear of it slipping from your hands. Panic rattled your mind. Adrenaline ran through your veins. You focused on every one of his moves, hoping to find an opportune moment to get in just one good hit or even simply to get away. But with all your dodging and observing, something seemed off. With all the mistakes you were making, all of your countless openings, this fight should already have been over. His blade slammed into a pillar, destroying it in an instant, sending shards of rubble flying towards you. You couldn't close your eyes or look away as it pelted your skin. Not when just a second of distraction would mean the loss of your head. With the dust and debris on your lashes and eyes, you caught him smiling. This wasn't a battle for your life. It was a game. He was keeping you alive, toying with you, and it seemed to only thrill him that you were trying your damnedest to survive. You felt more like prey than a target. This beastman wasn't going to kill you yet. You finally managed to gain some distance. Your breath was ragged. Sweat dripped down from every pore, and your legs and feet were beginning to ache. You wiped the dust from your eyes and looked back up at him. He just stood there. Was told dangerous, not a threat. Make fight interesting. The wolf switched his blade to his other hand, then outstretched his arm. He grinned and showed no hesitation as he lobbed off his own arm. What the fuck? Any sane person or beastman would have cried out in pain. You stared at him in disbelief. Not once did he grimace to the pain he must have felt. Rather than blood gushing out, a black syrupy ichor slowly bubbled and dripped out from his wound before it eventually hardened. Entertain me. You're insane! Was he really an assassin? His strange and self-destructive actions, lust for bloodshed, even being numb and oblivious to pain and emotions. It was the first time you had ever seen someone act this way, but not the first time you had heard of this. It was a threat that blighted the whole of Torvare, a mysterious and spontaneous circumstance that affected various towns and cities. A person suddenly lashing out in violence, becoming someone other than themselves. Anyone could be affected by it, and there was no known cure or cause. It simply just happened. In a dark alleyway in the middle of a busy street, or even at home during dinner time. The church claimed that these afflicted individuals possessed by demons, while scholars argued that they were stricken with some mental illness. Regardless who was right, it was untraceable and bizarre. If you had to make a guess, it was what you were witnessing now. But there was a chance that you could survive this. They all died. Everyone who caught this strange sickness for some reason killed themselves. It was made researching even more difficult and added to the enigma. If you could just hold off for a little longer. He lifted his decapitated arm from the floor and chucked it straight for you. You dodged the arm and his oncoming attack, but it left you wide open. You saw your life flash before your eyes. Time slowed down as you read into his movement. It's like, no, water time. This was the final mistake. You should have ran when you had the chance. He kicked low, his foot slamming into your gut and sending you flying across the courtyard. You wondered if you were hit by a boulder as you slid across the ground and stopped several meters away. Jake! You opened your eyes, squinting and doing your best to ignore the pain in your stomach. That kick must have knocked more than just the wind out of your chest. Now you were hearing things. Jake! No, it wasn't just your imagination. Someone was calling for you, a voice you knew very well. You never thought you would be more happy to hear your name in your life. Leon! You called out his name, though all you could do was gargle on blood and spit. You heard a clash of blades from his direction. Yeah, he yelled and cursed profusely. It seemed as though he was now in the middle of a fight, probably in a better situation than you were. The wolf approached again. He was far from finished with you. Get up! You glared back at the assassin. For some reason, you just wish he would end it. Despite your fear, you could feel rage building back up inside you. Yes, fight! Fight until death! You struggled to get up onto your 2 feet. Your stance was sloppy and your blade dragged on the ground. Leandros would make you do laps for such an inelegant pose. Though if you took another one of those kicks, being scolded might be the least of your worries. Jake, hold on, I'll be there! With the lion's hands tied, you knew he wouldn't make it in time. You wouldn't have to deal with this yourself. The assassin moved first, his blade pointed forward. With a twist of your body, you dodged his attack. He attempted another kick and you rolled out of the way. As you came back up, you stumbled forward, coughing up more blood. How much longer would you be able to last? Even avoiding him was taking a toll on your body. You fled, turning around a nearby pillar just as the wolf tossed his blade. The pillar shattered in an instant. You jumped away before the stone pieces could pelt you once more. The beastman drew near, running at full speed with claws out. You slipped down low and stretched out your foot. The claws grazed your cheek, but nothing more. He stumbled forward, tripping over your leg and dropping to the floor. As you fell, you saw it, a window of opportunity. The blade in your hand trembled. Your heart thumped faster and faster until it hurt as well. If you had believed in the gods, and this was what you would have considered a miracle. There wasn't any time to think as you rolled there helplessly. It was kill or be killed now. But are you prepared for the consequences? Well, damn. Spare him. The thought of killing him crossed your mind. This was a battle of life or death, morality be damned. You'd feel the urge to drive your blade into him, but even as he squirmed on the ground, exposing himself and giving you the perfect opportunity to end this nightmare, you just couldn't do it. The thought of ending another's life sickened you. Even if he was the most despised villain in the land, you're not sure if you could have even have committed to it then. But there was one thing you could do. A strike to the head to render him unconscious, just as Leandros had once taught you. You yelled as you brought the pommel of your blade back and went in for the attack. Memories of Leandros' hands guiding you to the exact point, telling you the minimum force needed only to knock them out, gave you the courage to do this without fail. You landed a clean blow to the side of his head. The wolf groaned for a second, but he still moved just slightly. He made one last strike for good measure. His face dropped to the side, and his tongue drooped out the side of his mouth. By the rising and dropping of his chest armor, you could tell he was still breathing. You hoped that was enough. Jake! You glanced up just in time to see another assassin heading straight for you, his blade waving wildly above his head. He came in fast as his blade smashed into the ground where you once were. Thanks to Leandros' warning, you had ample time to get out of the way. The ground shattered under his power, and you rolled to a stop near a fountain. You gritted your teeth through the pain and exertion of your previous battle. Second hill, water time. I don't think I can take another one. You struggled to pull yourself up off the ground, using the edge of the fountain as a crutch. You rounded it to give yourself a bit of distance from the assassin. As soon as the assassin pulled his blade out from the rubble, he charged at you. Rather than chasing you in circles around the fountain, he jumped up and bounced on the tallest tier. From atop his perch, he stared down at you like a hawk. He spread his wings and leapt down. Droplets of water surrounded him as he descended, each one reflecting the light of the sun so brilliantly that it mesmerized you. Were it not for that blade poised at your heart, you likely would have stood still in awe. He landed softly while you backpedaled on weak legs, falling down hard as he stood above you with grace. An unnatural chill passed through you, leaving the hairs on your arm and neck standing on end. Though it wasn't anything like a stinging breeze on a winter's day, this feeling left you with an emptiness as soon as your hairs began to settle. You believed you heard a voice calling out your name in the darkness, but all you could hear was Leandros shouting. What had happened? Why were you suddenly feeling so lonely? For some reason, the assassin seemed less threatening now than he did before. Not a single thought of dodging ran through your head as he lifted his blade toward the sky. The voice seemed to grow weaker. Your legs and arms felt drained. The glint of the assassin's blade was already coming down fast, and you couldn't dodge it in time. Don't you dare touch him! You peeked through your closed eyes, and caught the blur of a large man rush past you. A gale surging in his wake whipped your clothes and kicked dirt up in your face. He roared in unbounded fury as he rammed at the assassin, carrying him away from you. The two of them didn't stop until they slammed to the stone statue of a past king of Yasan. Both beastmen dropped their blades in the crash and wrestled with each other until they fell to the ground. Leandros twisted and turned until he managed to pin himself on top of the assassin, giving him the advantage. The assassin brought up his hands and gripped tightly around Leandros' neck. He squeezed and a roar became silenced in the lion's throat. Your legs twitched. You wanted to get up to help him, but it wasn't needed. The dark mist swirling around the two of them surged, becoming almost too obscure to see. That same feeling of emptiness from before returned back with vengeance. This time there was no voice, and it wasn't quite as strong. Your attention was utterly pulled towards Leandros as you watched the two beastmen brawling. He was only a few yards away, yet it felt like he was much further, across the land in a distant town, maybe even further than that. Second, y'all. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and this video is going up the day before we're heading out, y'all, so yeah. Yep. Wow, yeah, the day before we're heading out. That is insane. Oh, man. So, yeah. So, Tuesday, we will be moving, and we will be back in my hometown. And on the 23rd, we will be moving into our new place officially. Hopefully getting internet and everything set up meanwhile. But, yeah. Wish us luck, y'all. More content is coming, don't worry. I might have to scale back just a little bit based on my current work hours. Maybe, like, instead of doing 4 videos every single day, maybe do 4 videos every other day. But, yeah, that won't affect the flow of content. It won't affect Not Safe for Work videos going up either. So, anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all. Please check out the Patreon if you can. It definitely helps us. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!